Welcome back to the All Things Plastics podcast. Today's guest is Crystal, a 30-year-old wife, special needs mom, and Miss Bariatric UK 2025 finalist from Lincolnshire. Earlier this year, she traveled to Turkey for a full body transformation that included a 360 FDL tummy tuck, an arm lift, and liposuction, all after undergoing bariatric surgery. Opens up about navigating complications like the seroma, the emotional toll of surgery as a parent and caregiver, and how pageantry gave her a powerful sense of purpose. From self-doubt to the stage, this is an inspiring story of resilience, healing, and reclaiming confidence after massive weight loss. Everyone, let's welcome Miss Crystal to the show. Crystal, you are my second UK girlie. I know, and the time difference, girl. It's what you're back. Yeah, you're a couple hours ahead. So it is afternoon for me.
5,
and it is evening for you. So I'm so glad you're on the podcast, and we are going to dive into everything and your massive weight loss, which everyone is so interested in. Now, getting to know you, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where you're from, born and raised?
So my name is Crystal and I'm 30 and I live in the UK in Lincolnshire County, but I live in a town called Fleet, which is a small we say it's the farmers area because it's all like fields.
So
there's nothing.
You're
no
a
city.
country. You're a country from the UK, and you've been in the UK all your life. You hadn't wanted to move?
No, I've been here all my life since birth.
And you are from the UK, but you went all the way to Turkey to get your surgery. That is crazy.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you all the questions of like why you chose Turkey and all that stuff. So we'll get into that. But first I want to talk on your bariatric surgery and losing weight. So how much weight did you lose prior to your surgery?
So prior to my gastric sleeve,
yes.
So before my gastric sleeve, I tried to lose weight myself and I physically couldn't do it. I'd lose like 1 or 2 stone and then it would just stop. It'd be standstill and I couldn't lose any more. So then I decided like enough was enough. I was seeing it all over social media, people going and having a gastric sleeve or a gastric bypass, any bariatric surgery. So I dived in so deep, researched so much, and then I went straight in. Literally, I think it was about a year. So I took 6 months of research and then a year afterwards, I went for my surgery.
Now, for how many years were you trying to really lose the weight? Was it a couple years? Was it kind of a part of your life?
I have been plus size since I was a child. So I was probably about 8 or 9 when I look back at photos of being an 8 and a 9-year-old child. I was huge for that sort of age. And at school, I'd have to sit on the adult chairs. I had to use the adult toilet just because I couldn't sit. My bum wouldn't fit on a child's chair. I had to sit on an adult chair and I was constantly picked on. But I think it's like it started from a binge eating disorder as a child. Like my mum and my dad went through a divorce and then it was just so many different changes, moving house. I used to eat crisp packets, tons and tons of crisp packets were like being shoved down the I had a playroom, so I used to shove them down the little sofa areas and just tuck them in. And when that got fuller, I decided to go outside and there's like 2 fence panels like between my house and next door that I would shove the packets between there. I got away with it for years. And I think my mum realised I had an issue that she put like a little alarm on the pantry cupboard. So whenever I opened the pantry cupboard, it would start beeping. But I was quite sneaky. If I want to get something, and I'll get it. So I ended up getting a chair, putting it against the door, switching the off switch, opening the cupboard door and still getting the bad treats. Yeah. And then my mum decided, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a house on the garden. Little did I know, this house building required her taking down these fence panels.
And she saw all your snacks that you had hidden.
Yeah, they literally went everywhere. And I remember her looking at me and I literally went, that's not mine. Obviously it was. So like, I was just a child. I went, that's not mine. But it was. Yeah. And that's the worst memory, but that I can remember doing that. And I was that greedy. I don't know if you've ever heard of baby bio.
No, what is that?
The baby bio is like a plant feed and like you have to water it down to be ready to feed the plants. We never use like different containers and stuff. My mum used to use like reusable bottles, like say Fizzy Up. She had a 7-Up bottle, Pepsi bottles, stuff like that. She put them in that. I didn't realise. And I was that greedy that I wanted some Fizzy Pop. And I remember going into the conservatory, which is like the Sun Lounge conservatory area. I went in there, picked up a 7-Up bottle, was drinking out of it. And I thought, why does this taste like water? It didn't taste like lemonade.
It wasn't.
I went straight to my mum and went, why does the 7-Up taste like water? And she went, what 7-Up? I went, the one in the conservatory. Bearing in mind, this was hidden. It wasn't even in plain sight for a child. It was hidden. So I was sneaky and I looked for it. She went, go to the sink now. I need to make you sick. Because she went, that's plant food. That's poison. So I literally was at the sink, making myself sick. She never ever used a bottle again that was for fizzy drinks. But she hid it. And I was such a greedy child that's where it all stemmed from. And all the way through my teens, even at school, like I would have, for my snack, for break, I'd have a giant big sausage, hot dog. And then at lunch, I'd have extra foods. But it was at the point where I started to get bullied at secondary school that I ended up
Yeah.
eating lunch in the toilets. And then to the point of prom coming up, I wanted to look nice. I wanted to fit in a dress, that I decided to stop eating. I started taking diet shakes. I was going to the gym every lunchtime,
No.
and I did lose weight, but I wasn't as small as the others. So like a UK dress size for the prom at the age of 16 is like a size 6. I was a size 14. So I
Yeah.
was still big, but I did lose weight because I ended up like starving myself, which didn't help.
Is
And then
not good.
obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, I left school, I went to college, then I fell pregnant. And then throughout my pregnancies, I just kept piling on the weight. And I literally was eating for two. And that's how I'd put it. Like when I was pregnant, I was saying it all the time, I'm eating for two. So I'd have two of everything. And it just got worse
Yeah.
and worse.
So your whole life, you just have struggled with food, with this relationship and
Yeah, it's
overeating
been
and binge
horrific.
eating. That is really hard. And trying to break that cycle, it is
Yeah.
tough, especially if you don't have the proper guidance or the proper
Yeah.
tools. It's really hard.
I,
A lot of people need
yeah.
help.
See, I always
Yeah.
recommend to people that do want to go down the bariatric route that I do recommend they need to get therapy first, because I am still struggling now and I'm 2 years post-op, well, 2.5 years since my gastric sleeve. And it's awful. It's the most hardest thing, even though people say it's easy, you found the easy way out. It's not. It's the most hardest
No.
thing to go through, to put yourself under the knife, to actually have the confidence to put your life at risk. And then obviously you've still got these challenges because fat crystal's still inside. Like, I'm still in there,
Yes.
like I want this, this, and this, but I just physically can't eat that amount. I can't consume that much food. But it's
Yes.
still choosing the right quantity and the right food. You can eat unhealthily, but in small quantities. It's just trying to find that. So I always recommend people that do want bariatric surgery have to get therapy, because you have to sort up here first before you can sort the rest out.
Yes, ma'am. And we're going to dive more into that in a little bit. But you talked about gaining a lot of weight during your pregnancies. How many
Yeah.
children do you have right now?
I've got 3 children.
You have 3. So
Yeah.
after your third child, is that when you decided, like, okay, I need to make a permanent change and decided I think I want to do bariatric surgery?
I think it was more. So Poppy, my youngest, she's 7. So she was probably about 5 when I first went for my surgery. But it was like more of the case of my nan. My nan was my biggest inspiration, and she passed away literally 3 months after my gastric sleeve. But she was always wanting me to be healthier, wanting me to be happy. She hated the fact that I
Yeah.
always talked down about myself. But obviously we are our biggest critics.
Yes.
And she just wanted the best for me. So it was a bit of encouragement from her that I then thought I need
I
to do
love that.
something. So I did try to do what she used to do, because she said when I was younger, I'd do the kids' lunch, I cut off their crusts, and all I'd have was their crusts. That was it. I tried
Oh,
that. It did not
no.
work.
No, that is poor Nan. That is not a good, not good
No,
advice.
I did try that, and it didn't work. So that's when I decided to look down the routes of I need to do something. Kind of my nan gave me a little bit of a kick up the bum to go and do something.
How much weight did you gain roughly with each of your 3 pregnancies?
So I think with Ethan, I was probably about 266 pounds.
Wait, you gained? No, you were 266
That's what I was
pounds.
with my eldest, and he's 10. So then at the end of Poppy, my biggest was 336 pounds.
Oh, okay. So you were like, you've gained all these weight with your pregnancies,
Yeah.
and you were like, no, we got to change it up. We have to do something.
It was looking at the kids as well, because it's like my nan said she did so much hands-on with her children, and she loved having children, and I always wanted more. I wanted 5 children. But I looked at my kids, and it was just the energy. Like, they wore me out. And running around the garden, like Ethan, he's football like mad. And I was like, no, I can't play football with you. I can't even fit on a swing. I can't go down the slides with you. I can't go to like soft play areas because I just can't fit. And that got to me a lot. Especially like we did a lot of theme parks. It's called Merlin attractions. I couldn't go on certain rides with the kids because I was squishing them. So I couldn't do it, which put me down a lot. So I did think I need to do something.
And I feel like a lot of moms go through this. You know, they have their pregnancies, they kind of gain some weight during their pregnancies. And then the kids get older and they want to run around with the kids and go to the park and go on rides and do all these fun things. And then you guys kind of start to notice, oh, wow, like, I don't know if I can fit on this ride. I don't know if I can do this. And that's kind of what kickstarts you guys to say, okay, I need to make a change. I need to get healthier, especially for the babies. So that is amazing.
As much as it is for myself, a majority of it is for other people within my family, like my nan and the kids. They're what gave me the drive to do it. And then obviously Stephen, my husband, when I came to him and spoke to him about it and we looked into it, even my biggest cheerleader as well, to be fair, pushing me. Even when I got scared and I was like, I'm not going, I'm going to die. Instant, like, I'm a negative thinker. So I was like, I'm going to die, this, and this. He was like, statistically, this percent happens. He went, you're going to be fine. And he was the one that kind of said, no, you'll be fine. And he's the one that convinced me to go again. Because it was like, I don't want to go. I'm scared. I'm going to die. Like, my kids, I need to think about them. What's going to happen? I even wrote a will before I went, just in case.
Yeah, it is scary. Any type of surgery, it is scary. It is nervous, especially when you have little ones to take after. All those emotions and thoughts run through you guys. It's super normal. and super common. But I love how everyone around you was supportive, because we can get in a negative headspace. And then once you start down that rabbit
Yeah.
hole, you just start to spiral and spiral and spiral. And it's a tough place to pull yourself out. So I'm happy that you had that support system from your husband and your family
Yeah.
at home. Now,
'Cause
when you
I
started,
was literally, I was spiraling to the point where I was like, I messaged my
dangerous.
coordinator and I was like, I'm going to cancel. And Stephen was like, no. He was like, whether you like it or not, he goes, if you have it now or have it next week or the year after, he goes, you're still going to want to go for it because you're not happy with who you are and how you are. He said, if you want to do it, you need to do it. And he said, like, he just said, you'll be fine. Honestly, he goes, when I worry, then you worry.
Oh, I love Steven. Good husband right there. And in regards to researching to get this bariatric surgery, what were the steps that you started? Like, okay, I want to start researching where I'm going to get this surgery done and what doctor is going to perform the bariatric weight loss surgery.
Yeah. So in regards to the doctor and the surgeon, I literally was looking for the company first, and then I went down the routes of the surgeon because there's just so many different companies, so many different surgeons. And obviously I do know the whole, you pay for what you get. So I didn't like the cheaper options. I was happy to pay more expensive because I thought if you pay for what you get, so if you pay more, you're going to get a better experience.
Yes,
So I
ma'am.
looked, yeah. So then I looked at other people's experiences, who they went with, and then I did a lot of research and I went into Google of the horror stories. So I looked at the statistics of the horror stories first because negativity does spread quicker than positivity. So I looked
Yeah.
at all the horror stories first, and the one that had the less is the one that I was more drawn to, and that's when I looked into that. And then I got addicted to someone called Scarlett Black, who had her surgery. She's got a high follow. She's an OF girly as well. So like I did a lot of research into her and who she went with. So that's who I went with. I went with Bucking Surgery through her. So I was given 3 surgeons and I was sent their CVs, so all their qualifications. And the only reason I chose my surgeon, I think it was like, I'm very good at, I believe in fate, like things happen for a reason.
Yes.
At the time, my nan had bowel cancer and my surgeon was trained so well within bowel surgery, bowel cancer, and dealing with patients that had that type of surgery. So I was instantly drawn to him and I was like, I want that one. As soon as I read, obviously, he was more for bowel patients, that I thought that was a sign. And obviously, because it was partly to do with my nan, I wanted to do that. And he was honestly the best. And he also was a lookalike for the Ukrainian president, I think it is. He's the spitting image of the Ukrainian president. So that was another thing. And I just thought, it's just them little signs, them little bits where you know, when you know, you know.
So you kind of did your research and you found an influencer who got bariatric surgery, and she was an OnlyFans girly as well. And you liked her what surgery and her results. So then you kind of found where she went and you picked the 3 doctors from that agency. And then you fell in love.
I've literally just made that sound as if I do OnlyFans then because of the way you've just said it. But I don't do OnlyFans. I think it just because she's got such a big platform because of her OnlyFans. I just wanted to clarify on that because I thought
you're not on OnlyFans. No, girlfriend. No.
No, she's just an OnlyFans girlie that I just thought she's got a lot of confidence and she's gone from that to what she is now. That's what I'm so bad at wording it.
Sure, they know I'm not on OnlyFans. No, Crystal's not on OnlyFans, but she found an influencer who also, you know, does OnlyFans on the side and get bariatric surgery. So you liked her results. And I'm so glad you had a whole good process and you felt comfortable and safe, because that's really important. And before I did some research on you, I was assuming that your surgery was covered through insurance for some reason, because a lot
in
of
here in the UK, like we don't have insurance. So in the UK, we have UK or British citizens get free NHS care.
Okay.
But obviously, I had been to my GP, I'd spoke to them in regards to bariatric surgery, but you have to go through stages and process to meet the criteria.
Yes.
So I originally had to do it's called 1U Lincolnshire, which was like a dieting course for 12 weeks. And I did that, but it was trying to obviously get you in the mental frame of what sugars are in your foods, what fats are in there, salts, and how to avoid it. And you have to measure everything. And to me, for a mum that had 3 kids, I was like, I ain't got time for this. And it was just hard work. And then they give me a gym membership. I think it was for 4 weeks free, but then you have to pay for your gym membership afterwards. It's just like a trial period.
Yeah.
And I did go down all them routes and I was put on a waiting list to have bariatric surgery, but I was told it would be up to a 10-year wait.
Wow. 10 years to wait in the UK to get your bariatric surgery. That's crazy.
I think it's because it's such high demand and the NHS is so short-staffed and underpaid. I think because they give out free NHS care, they then knock themselves down to try and help patients that actually need it. And I know, to me, I was like, if I want something doing, I need to do it myself. So my eyesight, like I wanted to go straight forward and just pay for it myself because I thought I can save the money and I can do it myself. I don't want to wait around because it's something that I need to do now before I either end up with a heart attack or end up worse, because at the time I was really bad asthmatic.
You were scared you had some conditions already and you didn't want anything to progress or get worse.
So I didn't want to sit around waiting. I didn't kind of want the handout either. I think I just felt guilty to just sit and wait for the NHS just to give it to me when I thought I can work for it, if that makes sense. Like, I know that sounds and sometimes it sounds bad because it's a very contradictive comment, but I do feel like I just wanted to go ahead and pay for it and just do it myself because it's like
Yes.
an achievement because then I can say I've done it.
And the UK is similar to the Netherlands, where you guys don't pay for insurance. You just automatically get healthcare. So
Yeah.
that is super interesting, where a lot of patients out here in the US, they get bariatric cover through insurance. And then once they
Yeah.
lose all the weight, they go ahead and get the skin removal that most likely
See, I
sometimes
always
they have to pay
I
for.
looked at moving to I wanted to move to like New Zealand or to America. As a child, I always wanted to live there. But I looked into it, and when I saw about people giving birth and how much it costs to give birth to a child, I was like, that is crazy. Which
Yeah,
that put me off.
it's tough out here, girl. It is
Yeah.
tough, especially, those hospital bills, wild.
Yeah, but that's why we do get our NHS paid for, but the only thing is medication, we have to pay for our medication, so it's between one or two prescriptions that you get, you have to pay for. But
Okay.
me and my husband were on a prepayment, so if you pay a certain amount each month, it doesn't matter how many items you have, it's included in the cost that you pay each month.
Okay, I love that.
But we do have to pay for medication,
I
but you
love
do have
that.
the option to go private. I could go private for my gastric sleeve, but the cost here was just over £10,000, which to me was like a house deposit. So that's why I looked at cheaper options to fly abroad.
Fly to Turkey, and we're going to get
Yeah.
into that right now. You had your gastric sleeve in what year?
And I had it January 2023.
January 2023. And how much weight did you lose until you got your skin removal?
Over £140.
Wow.
I know that was in pounds.
Yes. You lost 140 pounds after your bariatric surgery before you
Yeah.
got your tummy tuck and your liposuction. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was hard, especially because I had to deal with my nan passing. I was 3 months post-op. I was actually, it's a funny story. So my nan's classed as my spider nan because before she passed, I was bit by a false widow spider and I was hospitalised and I had to have an operation because I nearly lost my finger.
Oh
And
my
while I was
gosh.
in hospital, my nan deteriorated and I was like, I need to get out of this hospital. And then once I was discharged, my nan died literally days later.
Mhm.
So I was literally, it was awful because I was doing my hula hooping, I was doing aquafit, I was doing everything for my journey, and then it got literally stopped because I had a spider bite, so I couldn't swim. I had stitches. Then my nan passed away, so I was dealing with grief, and it was awful because I do feel if that didn't happen, I probably would have been at my goal weight that I wanted to be because I'm still not at my goal weight, like what I had ideally in my head. But then I feel if I didn't have bariatric surgery and all that happened, I would have been bigger than what I am.
Yes. So it's, weighing the pros and cons of the situation. And you had a lot going on. You have to give yourself some grace. You had a lot of life changes happen at once. So give yourself grace. Definitely.
Yeah,
Don't go negative and spiral, girl.
I just say it's a bittersweet. It had to happen for other things to come into my life and to be where I am today.
Yes. Now, what led you to get plastic surgery after your 140-pound weight loss? What was
I hated how I looked. I hated it. And
a lot of excess skin.
Yeah, it was the constant, to begin with, it was my arms running up and down the stairs. My arms were always clapping and cheering me on. So they were constantly like this, running up and down the stairs. But now, believe it or not, my thighs do it. So it's like I'm still being cheered on every time I go up and down the stairs. But I know it's really weird because it's like I had more confidence losing weight with my clothes and fitting into new clothes and just styling it. I was styling my clothes so much different than wearing just the usual black and covering up my body. I wore crop tops. Even though my skin was unsure, I wore crop tops. But then it was the point of getting into bed, getting changed, going into the shower. I hated the skin. It was like I had a extra blanket attached to me. And the amount of times I used to say I could just pick it up and throw it on Stephen during the night to keep him warm because it was just there.
Yes, a lot of excess skin, which led you to get quite an extensive procedure. You had a full tummy tuck, you had liposuction. Walk us through how you found your surgeon and why did you choose Turkey and how much it was?
So I went back with the company that I chose before with booking surgery because I just felt how they dealt with me to begin with, it was just phenomenal, the whole experience, and they looked after me and even checked in throughout my whole journey and they shared anything I posted. So then I did research into surgeons because there was so many with booking surgery. I had no clue what I was doing, who I was going with, because all the results looked really, really good. So what I did was, instead of looking at their photos and looking at results, I actually reached out to people that had surgeons. And the one that stood out the most because of how precise and how slim the actual incisions were and the scarring, I went with Dr. Yalchin. And I messaged probably about 5 or 10 different patients. And I said, I'm sorry to bother you. Can I have details of this, this, and this, and this? And they sent me naked photos I was sent. I was sent everything. And that's when I was like, that's the one. He's my surgeon. And there's a little inside joke. Everyone calls him Dr. Yummy because he's he's not bad on the eye. So people call him Dr. Yummy, even though his name's Dr. Yalchin. But he did a phenomenal job. And I can't fault it. And obviously I had healing skin. Yeah,
And
I
I
had
love
healing
how
issues, but
yeah, and we'll get into that, but I love
yeah,
how your research was you contacted his previous patients and
yeah.
got the info and results straight from the source. Like, honestly, sometimes that's the best method of research as well, asking patients about their experience and their post-operative journey.
Well, that's what I thought I had to do because I just thought going off of images or what companies write, they can just be
You never
fabricated.
know.
Yeah, you don't.
Exactly.
So
Like,
that's why I reached out. Yeah, and then with the people that I reached out to, like they sent videos, photos, all different angles, everything. Like it was literally like I saw everything, like what they were going through, even before, the afters, even videos of them during the time that was there, even the videos of the surgery because he does sometimes record them. I just
yeah.
thought I'm sold. Like he's the one. Like I want him to do my surgery, and that was it.
Now, for all your procedures, how much did you end up paying in Turkey?
Nearly
Okay.
$8,000.
$8,000 for your procedures. And you also have to pay for your travel and your stay in Turkey, correct?
Yes. So my stay in Turkey, it was the full stay was in the hospital, which that's another thing that sold me, by the way, even for my gastric sleeve. Because some people do the surgery and send you to a hotel. Like that was a straight
Mhm.
off no go for me because I thought if anything happened, and knowing my luck, it would. So I was like, I want to stay in the hospital for the full duration. There's no way I'm going to hotels. So that's what sold me. So the full duration. I also got a free companion. So my mum went with me for my gastric sleeve and she came with me for my plastics. My husband's a queasy person, so he stayed home with the kids. And my mum came with me both times. They put her up on a bed in the same room as me. They also fed her and I was fed.
You
I also
had
had,
the whole total care by staying in the hospital. I love
yeah,
that. And honestly, I would probably choose that too. I wouldn't want to
yeah,
go back to a hotel or an Airbnb. Being right there, especially when you're out of state or out of country
yeah,
and you don't know the language, you don't know anything or
yeah,
anyone, I would feel more comfortable. Okay, I want to stay at the hospital. Nurses, doctors are around. There's people around that know what they're doing. So
yeah.
100%, I agree with you.
So like that is just for my plastic. So that cost my gastric sleeve $1,000. So in
Roughly.
total, 11,000 in total for all my surgeries as far.
Uh, $11,000 for your bariatrics and then your plastic surgery
Yeah.
following the weight loss. And would you say with your airfare going from the UK to Turkey is roughly how much?
So for both of them, I'd say it's probably about 1,000.
Okay, so yeah, an airfare. And how long is that flight?
It's 4 hour
That's like
journey.
flying across the United States from the West Coast to the East Coast. It takes about 4.5 hours. So that's not a bad flight at all.
It's awful though for coming back from plastics. I'll tell you that
Yes,
was awful.
girl. Coming back from your tummy tuck and your lipo, that is tough. When did you fly back to the UK from Turkey?
So I flew to Turkey on that Sunday the 8th. My surgery was on Monday the 9th and I came back on the Saturday, so the 14th. So it was within 6 days.
Okay, and that's kind of quick. I'm surprised you didn't stay
Yeah.
a little bit longer than a week.
So I was left with drains. I woke up and I had 5 or 4 drains. I really can't remember now. It's such a blur. But I
Okay.
remember waking up with drains and I freaked out. I think I had 4 to be fair. But I freaked because that's the worst thing. I was scared to have drains.
You guys are killing me. Everyone is so scared of these JP trains. And honestly, they're so easy to
Yeah.
use. They are there for a purpose. And a lot of times, I love the drains. They prevent a lot of complications like
So the
seromas
thing is
or
though, because
fluid.
it's because I
But
had my gastric, so because I had not my gastric, because I had a gallbladder removed. When I had my gallbladder removed, I was left with a drain, but that literally goes internally. And when they
yes,
removed that, it felt like they were pulling my insides out. But when I had my
it's,
drains removed from my plastics, I didn't feel them. But that's because it was
yeah.
between skin and my stomach muscles. So it was
And
between
your
them. It
wall,
wasn't
not
internal.
internal, not
Yeah.
inside the
So
abdominal
that's why
wall.
I
It
was
was more
scared. So because of my
superficial.
past experience, I was like, I don't want 4
Everyone
drains.
Everyone is so scared of the drains. And I'm like,
Yeah.
girls, there is no reason to be scared of JP drains post surgery.
No, see, I'm the exact same now. Like, when people do say to me, "What's the drains like?" I'm like, honestly, don't worry about it. I freaked out, and when
Yeah.
my doctor came in and pulled them out, I was like, "Are you done?" Because I didn't feel
Yeah.
anything. I was like,
Literally,
"Really?"
they just cut the sutures
Yeah,
and pull the drain. All they're there is to help get rid of excess fluid, which we
yeah.
want. And
I
the
like
care
that
is
to be
so
fair
easy.
because it made me feel a bit more. The thing is, though, before I was due to fly, literally an hour before I was due to go to the airport, I was left with 1 drain. I had like tiny amount of fluid. It had to be below a certain amount of milliliters before it can be
Yes, to get
taken out.
removed. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So when it was like that, I knew it was minor, but I was like, please tell me it's going to be removed. Because if it's not, that's the only thing I said. If it's not removed, I will stay longer because I'm not going on a
Yeah.
flight back to the UK to go through the airport, risk of like contamination, because I do
Yeah.
freak out. And I'm like, how am I going to get it removed? Because as much as like the NHS here are good, they're funny when you go elsewhere for surgery. So like my
Yeah.
GP has been fantastic. They did my pre-op bloods, they did my pre-op tests before I even went. So they did support me, but I didn't know how to approach them if I needed to have a drain removed. And I didn't like the
Yeah.
idea of other people. cut it themselves and removed it. I was like, I ain't doing that. So I said, I either stay here longer, and like the company and my coordinator and the surgeon said I was happy to stay, but he went, the drain can come out.
If you had to fly home with it, worst case, what you would have done is you would have went to the ER, the emergency room, and all you do is ask them to remove the drain. They cut the sutures, they pull it out, they send you on your way. Worst case. So any girls that are wondering if you have to fly back with a drain, not the end of the world. You just go to the emergency room and they'll remove it for you. So now you mentioned you had a few minor complications. What were these complications and when did you start to get them after your plastic surgery?
It was probably a week after my surgery. So I wanted to do the whole dry healing. I didn't want to go for a shower, or I didn't want to get my tapes wet. I wanted to keep them on and dry heal. So that was my plan, because I watched other people dry heal and they seemed to have better results. So that was like my mindset, my goal.
Interesting. I've never heard of dry healing. I don't even know if that's a thing out here in the States. But that's the first time. Yeah.
Dry healing here is like you wash yourself with like body wipes, clean yourself with like
a bird bath.
Yeah, well, I call it a cat slick.
A cat slick, that's what you guys call it. I love it.
Yeah, I've always sometimes we'll have a bath night, skip a bath night. So on the skipper bath, my mum will like, let's have a cat slick, which is like a cat's wash.
Cleaning themselves.
Yeah.
And so you didn't shower for over a week?
No, I didn't have an actual proper shower for over a week. And it was meant to be longer, so it should have been up to 6 weeks before my tapes were removed. However, my mental health was affecting me. So I was washing myself with wipes. I could smell like from the compression, it stunk.
Yes.
And I was feeling sick. I was crying all the time. I hated how I looked. I felt like I was Frankenstein's monster. It was just, I hated it. I just felt not me. I felt like I was in someone else's body, and I thought I'd never get past it. Like the depression that I went into, like we call it the post-plastic blues, but it was horrific. And it was to the point where I said, I'm going for a shower. And my husband was like, you sure? I went, yeah, I'm going. I can't be asked. I'm pissed off. I'm angry. I went, I'm going for a shower. And I really didn't give a shit. I just went straight in the shower, washed myself. Like I didn't touch the tapes. I washed around the tapes. But then I was like, now what do I do? Because I need to make sure I'm proper dry. So I had to sit on my bed.
Air dry. Yeah.
I did. I got a hairdryer, and then I thought, I don't want to use a hairdryer because it's warm and cold. I thought, I can't be arsed. So I laid on my bed one side, then I flipped over, and I was literally air drying for nearly 3 hours.
Yes.
I don't think I was like fully dry, but then I put my compressions on, and the next day I saw my tapes were already peeling.
Yes.
So then I was like, oh, they're peeling off. So then I was like, I decided to like, I'm a picker. So I decided to peel them off. And I was like, I see some goo. And this was on my, like, cause obviously I had a 360 FDL, an extended FDL, an extended Mons lift, liposuction outer thighs, and then an arm lift. So when I was peeling it off my stomach, I saw like some white goo, and I freaked out, and I was panicking thinking, what is that? What do I do with that? And I was like, I sent it to my coordinator. She was like, it's fine. Just take the tapes off and just so we can see and evaluate what's going on. Took my almonds off. They peeled off easy. They literally, everyone actually, I had a lot of bad comments saying, you've edited your scars, you've edited your photos, because the incisions at the time when I did remove them, it looked like I'd had them done for years, even though it was a week. So I did like have a lot of stick. But then as I was peeling the rest off, I had like an opening just at the bottom here, and it was just gooey. It was nothing bad. I just had to iodine it and just keep iodine. I don't know how you say it.
Iodine.
But like I just covered it in that and just looked after it, and then used some antibiotic cream. Good. And then I think I was probably about nearly 20 days post-op when I started getting an opening just above my Mons lift.
Okay.
And that's when I freaked out, because it started small and it got bigger and bigger, and there was like black bits in it, which I realised were the sutures. Okay. So I went to go see the doctor, and they tried to remove the sutures and then said it should heal because the sutures are there. They've not dissolved. So they feel it's not going to heal because there's a foreign body in there.
Yes.
And then I realised my stomach was like a waterbed. So I was just crying constantly because I hated how I looked. I hated my scars. I hated my incisions. Yeah. And then I was told I have a seroma. So I sent it to my coordinator. She sent it to the surgeon. They said, like, go to see your GP. It needs to be drained. Went to the GP. Was sent straight to hospital. They said they can't drain it. They won't touch me because of the infection risk. So the issue is, if they insert a needle and then drain it, next week it could fill back up. So then they're going to insert another needle, which is, the chances are I'll end up with an infection. So they said, you need to just go home, wear compression, and I had to have bromelain. Yeah, I had to have them supplements. I had to have them supplements and ate a lot of pineapple, and majority of the time I just laid on my back. I was like sort of like a U position. And I rested. My husband had time off work, so he did a lot, and so did the kids. But eventually it went down on its own. I just kept wearing the tight compression, taking the tablets, the supplements, eating a lot of pineapple, hoping that I didn't get the shits. But I'm lucky, it went on its own. So the reason that I had the
Good.
opening in my groin area was because of the seroma. It was trying to find the weak spot and trying to
Wait.
push its way out,
Oh, yeah. So
which
for
is
the
why I'm
girls,
glad it didn't. I'm glad it didn't
yes.
because I freaked out.
And for the girls at home to explain a little bit better, she had wound adhesins right above her mom's pubis, which is kind of the vaginal area, the lower abdomen. And she had a wound opening over time. And why that was opening is because she had a seroma, which was fluid building up in her abdomen. So when you have fluid buildup anywhere in your body, it's going to try to come out, right? And the body was trying to push it out through that incision above her mom's pubis because that was the weakest area. And obviously, it was previously open due to surgery. So that's why she had both of those complications going on. But I'm glad that you didn't have to have it drained and you were able to provide the proper compression and the seroma and the fluid went away on its own. And I'm sure after the fluid went away, the wound started to heal.
Yeah, it
Correct.
did. I used Medi
Beautiful.
Honey. I don't know if you've ever heard of Medi Honey.
Yes, we use
Yeah,
Meta Honey
so
for a variety of things. Uh huh.
yeah, that's what I used on it here. I was given some stuff from Turkey called Rift. It was like a little glass red bottle, but I wasn't comfortable using it. I used it sometimes, but then I was like, no, because I don't like it. So then I stuck to the UK version, well, the Medi Honey, and that helped. It cleared up. And I did go to my GP. She supported me and saw me every week, changed my dressings.
Yep.
Whereas with obviously the Turkey, with their guidelines, they said to change it every day. But here they said
Hmm.
to leave it on for a week, and every week they changed the dressings, which
Interesting. Okay.
I felt like it healed better leaving it alone instead of changing it every day.
Okay.
And then I did have as well, once these two bits, after these two did heal up, I had a little opening on my hip. But I think that it's just the way I healed because my hip bone was there. It struggled to
Okay.
heal a little bit because I'd never had a hip bone. So I guess it was sticking out. It
You
was
kind
like,
of have
what is
like a
that?
little keloid, a little bump on your scar.
No, I don't. I'm actually quite good with all my scarring. So it's
Okay.
just it's a little slight opening, I think, because my hip bone was in the way of it actually healing properly. And because your hip moves a lot, it was
I
just
was gonna say, I think
irritating.
it's more related to your mobility when the
Yeah.
incisions on the hips. We move a lot from our hips up,
Yeah.
down, sideways. So with the constant movement, it might have opened up the
Yeah.
incision a little bit.
And I know some people freak out thinking, oh, it's the surgeon's fault, or they'll say it is, but
No.
it literally is down to everybody is different, no matter what surgery you have.
Yes.
'Cause people went, I want to go with your surgeon because you've healed well. But that's me.
Not every person. You could have
No.
two people go to the same surgeon who does the exact
Yeah.
thing in surgery, but guess what? You are always going to have two
Yeah.
different results based on the individual patient.
Yeah. If
So
I am
you guys
quite
need to
like,
remember that.
yeah, that's what I tell everybody. And I've always been honest that I'm very transparent in my journey. Like, I am a good healer without being big headed. Like, even when I had my bariatric surgery, my scars disappeared. Like, they just vanished. And then
Good.
obviously, my
Yeah.
spider bite, you can't really, like, the scarring, it just vanishes. But I was using, for my tummy tuck scars, I was using something called Contour Laboratories, which is
Uh-huh.
Ultimate Scar Cream. And I use that religiously. But now I don't use
Yes.
anything. They've faded so much and they've healed so well.
Good.
But I get negative comments because I am full of stretch marks. And like everyone was like, I'd rather, it looks like you've been botched and all these bad comments, but it's just because my stomach's different.
Yes.
Like,
You've
I'm
lost
happy to show
some
you, like, I
major.
don't know if you can see, like, it's because I've got like all my stretch marks still, which I'm happy with because they're from
Yes.
when I had my children.
That's part of your journey. You've had 3
Yeah. And
children.
I was so sad because I thought when he was marking me up and drawing me up for surgery, I was like, am I going to lose my stretch marks? Because that's one thing I didn't want to do. I didn't want to lose my stretch marks because they're my babies. Like, I've had them because
Yes.
of the children and even before the children. So it shows my story.
It's your story. It's your
Yeah.
journey. Stretch marks, everybody has them.
Yeah.
Some people have them more than others. Some people have them in different areas. Hey, men and women, we all have them.
Yeah.
And they're part of our journeys. Do not be self-conscious about your stretch marks and tell the haters to, you know what, just block them. Any stretch mark comments, block them. Now, besides those two complications, did you have a decent journey emotionally, mentally? Was everything kind of okay? I know it was rough the
Yeah.
first weeks or two, and I know it probably got rougher
It was
during the complication. But other than that, were you trying to stay positive or did you have the support from family?
So I was very open through obviously my TikTok and social media and my Instagram. I post when I was crying, how I felt, literally because I thought there's not enough of it going around. There's not enough people showing how they really feel. It's more everything's fine and everything's okay, not the bad side of it.
Mhm.
So I would take to social media in tears on my really bad days. And I don't even watch it back. I did to begin with, but now watch it when I can't watch it back because it makes me cry because I just feel
Yeah.
so sorry for myself because I feel like where I am now compared to there, like I pushed through it. So I feel like
Yes.
it's helped out other people. And so many people have come forward and said, like, I wish I had this when I had my plastics. I wish your video was there before. And it's just,
Yeah.
it was challenging and it was a roller coaster because I genuinely thought I'm always going to feel like this. I never thought I'd be able to get past how I felt about myself. And I still have struggles now because I do suffer, I think, with body dysmorphia. So it looking in the mirror and I'm not seeing me, or I get a photo taken of me and I'm like, I double look going, that's not me. And it's still hard because it's like,
it's hard.
Yeah, it is. It is such a mental challenge and a mental battle. And I just feel, what am I, 8 months post-op since my plastics. And I'm still struggling, but yeah, I'm still going for more surgery come January. But it's like, as I have said previously, we are our biggest critics. So no matter what, we want this picture perfect image and then this picture perfect body, but there's no perfection. Nothing's perfect. But we have this image that we want to achieve and the way we want to be. But even I know for a while after having my thigh lift in January, my breast lift and obviously the back fat, there's going to be something else because I know my teeth are starting to annoy me because I do. It's the comments and my arse. I've got a flat arse as well. But I know it's just, I have to think more of, I'm doing this for me now. It's more like my thighs are my biggest issue because I think I've got lipedema. And I have been referred with the NHS, but obviously the waiting lists, I don't know how long it's going to take or what's going on or down that route. But my surgeon has said I've got lipedema. And I'm going back to the same surgeon that's done my tummy tuck. And he said that he wants to do an inner thigh lift and an outer thigh lift to help with the whole lumpy parts that I've got that stick out.
Yes.
So I've always struggled with my thighs, and that's what's upsetting at the minute because I can't find the right pair of trousers to fit an outfit.
Difficult to dress. Yes.
Yeah. And then I wear nice dresses, but then I go like a lovely hourglass and then I go boof with my thighs.
Yeah.
And it's nice, but it's the fact that because my thighs stick out a lot, everyone notices my bum's straight. And I know once my thighs get done, I'll be more in proportion. It is just my thighs. But I know it's weird because my biggest downfall has been my thighs. I should have got them done first. But realistically, I looked and spoke to my surgeon, what surgery is best? And he's always said your stomach first and your arms, because then afterwards, everything can be contoured around it to work best. And then I went for my stomach and my arms because I felt like, I'm not going to get my legs out. I'm not going to wear shorts, even though I braced it. I have worn shorts quite a lot more than what I thought I would, but I wanted to wear the crop tops. I wanted to wear like short sleeve t-shirts. That was my main thing that I wanted to do. And with the hotter weather coming up, obviously having my surgery January when it's cooler, I had plenty of time to heal. And I wanted the summer to wear my crop tops and shorts, like vest tops and stuff instead of, but I've also wore shorts, even though I'm not happy with my thighs. I've embraced it.
You just have to remember, with changing our bodies, there's no overnight change. You have to take it little by little, journey by journey. And, you have your surgeries coming up for your thighs, and just be present, be grateful that, you have made it this far, and look back on where you started. And that will kind of remind you where you came from. And, I know it's hard, especially with the negative comments on social media, girl, I feel you, but just to try to take it, day by day, and you have it coming up. So just give yourself grace and don't be too hard on yourself, and try not to focus on your thighs. You will get them done eventually.
There's good and bad moments. It depends, I guess, on my mood cycle. So like I'll throw an outfit together and I'll actually be pretty big headed and I'll go, I actually do look good. Like my stomach, everything, like I suit this outfit and I look good. And then even if people comment negative, because I'm so proud of myself and how I've done this, like this is me. So even when I've had negative stuff on my positive days, I've literally it's gone to the back of my head because I don't really care.
Good.
It's just when I wear something,
you should be.
Yeah, it's just trying to do that every day, all the time. That can be very overwhelming and draining.
It's overwhelming, yes. Now, speaking about beauty and pageants and confidence in social media, you're a finalist in Miss Bariatric UK. How did that opportunity come about?
So there's a lovely lady, her name's Senna, and she's the founder of Miss Bariatric. So it's Miss Bariatric UK, and she's just, I think because she's had bariatric surgery herself and she's gone down the routes of her own journey, and she wants to do this to show it to other girlies, other people around her, you can do this, this is achievable. Even you don't have to be the whole beauty standards. And it's something that she loves and she's passionate about, that she's opened up the opportunity for other people like myself to go ahead and do it. And the first of its kind was actually last year. She went onto the news and everything, and she's just built this huge community together of people that have had bariatric surgery, even people that have had plastics as well, or people that haven't. And it doesn't matter on your size. It's about uplifting and bringing people together of this is you, this is your journey. And I think it's just a wonderful thing she's done. And I'm so grateful to her to have given the opportunity for me to do it, because I don't think I would ever have entered any pageant.
I was going to say, what inspired you to compete in this bariatric pageant?
So last year I did actually apply to do it. And then obviously it was finding a sponsor, paying a deposit. And I was like, I can do this. And then I was like, shit, what am I doing? I was like, actually, no, I can't do it. My mindset wasn't there.
You got nervous. Yes.
Yeah. I thought maybe after my first round of plastics, maybe I'll just see how it goes. And obviously I applied, the end of last year I applied for this year and I was made a finalist, and I've just gone with the flow. It's been bumpy because after my plastics, when I was having the whole spiral and the emotional downside, there was a content day that Senna organised where all of us went to get some content, headshots, everything like that. And on the morning of it, my husband, bless him, he drove us up there. He stayed in the hotel with me on the morning just because my lashes didn't go right. I've never, ever used lash curlers. So before I went, I had a lash lift and tint because I wanted to give my lashes a break from extensions.
Yes.
So I had lash lift and tint and they look lovely. And I thought I'd use curlers just to enhance them. I'd never used them, didn't know how to use them. So I pressed it too hard and they disappeared. And I freaked. I was like, my lashes have gone. What have I done? I'm not going. And then Stephen was like, you'll be fine. And he was trying to support me. I was a bit of a bitch. But he was saying to try and help me. I was disregarding it. I was upset. I was crying. And then I tried to do it. I thought, whatever, I'll do it. So then I put on a red lipstick. Stephen was like, I don't really like red. Not in a nasty way. He was just like, I prefer you in nude colours, not red. So I was like, oh, for God's sake. So I tried to wipe it off. It was a lip stain.
Poor thing.
So,
everything was just going wrong that morning. And you were probably already nervous.
I got in the group chat for Miss Bariatric and I went, I quit. I'm not doing it. Sorry. And then I had people messaging me and someone called Georgie, bless her, offered to come and pick me up. So if it wasn't for her, I think I would have dropped out. Like I would have dropped out and would have felt guilty and would have felt shit because I dropped out because I wanted to drop out. I just wanted to do the whole flight, run away. But Georgie came and picked me up and I had a fantastic time. It was really, really good. It was just afterwards, the day after when I got home, I think it was just so much socialising. It was weird because it was like having photos taken, headshots, and like the headshots really shocked me because you had to look down but look up with your eyes. And I felt so uncomfortable and bizarre.
Very different.
It was so alien to me because I'm not a pretty, what is it? Like I don't.
No, you're just not used to doing any of that. It's very foreign. It's very new for you. So of course you're going to feel uncomfortable. It's out of place for you.
So like a lot of the time I felt like I was just masking it to just get through it. And then when I came home, I left the home and stayed. I drove about for a bit because I needed space. I didn't know how to process it. And I was like, it's too much. And then I had a spiral down and cry because I thought, what am I doing? Like I've entered a beauty pageant. Like, what am I doing? But then I've got past that. I mean, this was.
I was going to say, how do you feel about it now, looking back on starting that journey? And do you feel that it has changed you physically, emotionally, like mentally? Like you're glad that you went through all that and you're happier now?
I'm still glad that I'm going for it. Like I'm preparing everything. I've got all my outfits because there's different categories. So you've got little black dress, swimwear, evening wear, fun fashion. So I've got. Oh yeah, and then the interview as well. That's the only thing I'm shitting myself for is the interview because I am not good at being put on the spot. So like, I'm doing well here, but
you're doing well here, girl. But I know that's very different interviewing for a pageant. Yeah,
I'm a bit more confident and a bit more happy with like what's to come. And I've done photo shoots. I've had a video photo shoot as well. We also do these bariatric balls.
Yes, I saw when I was doing my research, you guys were at this fun bariatric ball event and you looked gorgeous. You had like a little see-through dress moment. It was tan and black. I loved it.
Oh no, that's from myself. So the bariatric ball is organised by someone called Len. She usually does a summer ball and a winter ball for any bariatric patients of any type, like wherever they come from, whether they've had it abroad or the UK. So then the one that you're referring to with the see-through dress, so that was a bariatric meet.
Okay.
Yeah, so I organised that and I've done a couple of them. So that's the 4th event that I personally organised. And
I hope so fun.
Yeah, so I do it to help other people within the bariatric community. So like I've done it at Nottingham and then I've done it at Birmingham. They're the main 2 that I do go to. So I do day meets for like the older generation or those that don't like the nightlife and drinking. So like we can go and have something to eat and have like a catch up. And it's just nice to be with people within the same community that understand everything we're going through. Because being at home, Stephen doesn't understand, the kids don't understand, my family don't understand what I go through. So that's why I organise these like meetups.
Talking about everyone knows what everyone's been going through.
New people, definitely. So there's new people, old people that I've been like maybe 7 years post from like their bypass or their whatever bariatric surgery they've had, or people that have just newly had it done like months ago that do come to the events. And the thing is with it, you make friends and sometimes you make like long-term friends and it's part of the community and it's uplifting each other. So that's what I like. I tend to do them quite a lot. So I try to do 2 a year. I've done my second one already. So the one that I recently just done at Birmingham, that was just such a great turnout. And the previous one to that, like it's got bigger and bigger with more people coming.
Yes.
And this one,
the more you promote it, the more you promote it and
Yeah.
invite people and find other people with a common interest or who have gotten that
Yeah.
surgery. And guess what? There's going to be more women that see your journey and
Yeah.
see these amazing events that you're throwing for the bariatric community. And you're going to even get more inquiries like, hey, girl, I'm
Yeah.
getting my surgery in a couple months and then I want to join you. So I think
It's the
it's
feeling. It's that
fabulous.
just that feeling that I get as well. Like when people say, like, I'm so grateful that you've done this because they wouldn't have done it otherwise if it wasn't for me. It's
No. Yeah.
the warm feeling that I get inside because it's like I've helped them, like
You're
without
helping
even
them
meaning to. Yeah. And I love that. I
and
love the
giving
fact
that
that people,
support.
yeah. And it's when people come out to me and they message me and they're like, I find it a bit cringe because I'm so hard to take compliments. Like I struggle to accept compliments. And
Accept
it's
your
like,
flowers, Crystal. Accept your flowers. You deserve them.
yeah. 'Cause when people do say like, you're such an inspiration, it's like I do feel like the fact that I've inspired so many people to go to events or through their journey, just it can make me emotional because it's like I've helped people without meaning to. And it's like that gives me purpose to carry on doing what I'm doing. Because if I wasn't
Yes.
here, they wouldn't have that support.
Yeah. And, going with any type of surgery, bariatric, weight loss, plastics, a lot of
Yeah.
people don't understand the reason why certain women choose to get these surgeries and what they go through physically,
Yeah.
emotionally, mentally. And having these meetups, these support groups, this online community really helps everyone and makes friendships. And it's beautiful. And I hope that you continue to do these. And I'm so
Yeah.
excited to see how big they get and where you guys go and take off from there. Maybe there'll be a bariatric trip one day. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think it's wonderful. And I think you're the perfect person to be planning them and to be doing them and even being part of the bariatric pageants. I think it's amazing. And I love the support that you are giving to women out there. It's truly
Thank
incredible.
you.
Yes. Now, you said you have a surgery coming up in January. Will that be your thigh lift?
Yes, it is. It's my thigh lift with lipo, and I'm having a breast uplift with implants and also a
Okay.
bra line lift.
Oh, well, we got to get back in touch a little bit after
Yeah.
January and talk about your second surgery because you've already had the lipo, you've already had the tummy
Yeah.
tuck, you've already had the arm lift. So you're conquering everything else. And I hope you have the smoothest recovery.
Thank you.
And I hope this time you better be in a better mental headspace and start prepping now.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Crystal, you are amazing all the way from the UK. I loved all the knowledge you brought on. And anyone looking to get bariatric surgery or weight loss surgery, even plastics, you guys, we will be collabing with Crystal. So you can go over to her page and see the strong bariatric community and plastics community that she's formed. And if you're in the UK, all the UK listeners out there, you guys can go and do a meetup and that'll be so much fun.
Brilliant. You
Yes.
should come
Well,
over here. You should come as well and see us.
I need to. I've never been to the UK. So maybe in the next year or two, I have to start traveling. I'm a
Yeah.
California girl, born and raised, so I haven't gone that far yet.
Well, no, that'd be good. And I'm pretty sure my husband will let us put up a bed or something for you.
Yes, yes, and learn the UK way.
Yeah.
Well, Crystal, I thank you so much for coming on All Things Plastics. It was a pleasure to have you, doll. And you guys stay tuned for the collab with Crystal. Head on to our Instagram and you can find all her social media content and to see her full journey. Until then, we will talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Thank you for having me. See ya.
Bye.